this together.
Welcome everybody to another edition of NXT on Tap, and tonight we have a full fucking house. We're coming off of a great episode of NXT Week 2 for Spring Break-In, but let's get into it. Phil, how are we doing tonight? You muted. Unmute.
Dude, one fucking job, Phil.
Didn't even know that happened, but either way, I'm super excited to be covering tonight and especially the draft picks later on.
Mike, how's it going?
If I don't choke on a Twizzler, I'm good. There we go. and a little, I was just as you asked me that question, I start swallowing Twizzler and I choke on it. I'm good.
And tonight we're graced once again by the Ginger Ninja Jaxpo. How we doing, man?
Back, bitches. I had to come thank Mike for helping me out. But I'm back, bitches.
Tonight was a surprise. He wasn't supposed to be back this week. He was supposed to be back next week. But man, yes, we're excited to have him back. We're happy that the gang is all back together. You know, it's good to go. So, that being said, let's transition from this over to the WWE Draft. So,
draft.
Overall, we had 40 spots in the draft this week, between Friday and Monday. We had in the draft itself. Now, this is the ones that were on screen. You had 6 people picked from NXT. So you got to see 6 people announced. Then there was an additional one picked from NXT last night after Raw went off the air. I loved the way they did this for NXT.
I agree.
You got to see the genuine emotion from these wrestlers. They did not know they were being called up until their name was announced. And you got their true reactions and to see how happy they were. Not only for themselves, but for others when their names were announced.
I feel like the only exception to that was like Carmelo Hayes, because they announced Carmelo Hayes was picked by SmackDown, and then just a few minutes later after they announced the I believe it was
Triple H and Cody.
Yeah, it was Triple H and Cody. I'm just figuring out who. I was just thinking like who got called, who was drafted after Carmelo Hayes to Raw, because like right after that ended, Carmelo Hayes music hits and out he comes, and I'm like, oh shoot, he's already gonna make a statement.
So Cam is over on TikTok right now, and he just says the draft was a letdown. I want to hear your reason as to why, because I feel
here we go.
I feel that this draft was probably one of the better drafts.
I do too.
It wasn't what people wanted. People wanted big people to move. Like, you wanted the big names to move. Okay, you got a lot of big names moving. You got Io Sky moving brands. You got Braun Strowman moving brands. You got Sheamus moving brands. You got Shinsuke Nakamura moving brands. They're not going to look the same. That's you had, out of the 40 picks that there were in the draft, you had 18 picks that caused somebody to switch a brand. And that's not how many people actually switched, because this is just the picks, 18. But then you have damage control, so that's 4 people. You have LWO, so that is
That's
6
six
people.
if you
That's
include
10
Carlito.
people right there that's switching. Then you
Carlito's
have
not there.
Final Testament. That's another 5. So that's 15 people there, right there, switching. Then you have 5 people moving over. You have going the other way. Like, there's a lot of people moving over. I mean, that's almost half, Cam. What do you expect? You want all 40 picks somebody to be switching? I'm just saying, you want all 40 picks to switch. Because if you have all 40 picks to switch, you're getting the same fucking shit you have now.
Yeah, if
You want something different, you don't switch everybody. You have to keep people the same thing.
You
They said it
draft for
before they started that they're drafting to build and to protect
the future.
What they have.
exactly.
Yeah, you draft for the future, and in wrestling, you should draft to protect what you have in the future. Just like NFL, you draft to build your future, not current. You have what you need currently, so yeah, protect it in wrestling. Protect your storylines that you built into and everything.
Cam's saying, why draft people that are already on the brand? To protect them from being taken.
Exactly. Like, it's not
If
always.
you were
It's not always
the GM
about. Yeah, it's not always a take. Some of it is a give. Some of it is a give also. Like you said, some of it, like, there's the part of it where you are protecting some of the stars you don't want to leave your brand, so that
it makes no sense. Cam is saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cam, if you're the GM of Monday Night Raw, okay, and you have, we'll say, Seth freaking Rollins on Raw. And Seth Rollins can do something a lot of people can't do. Put a butt every 12 inches. Would you want to lose him to SmackDown? Would you want to lose a money draw to SmackDown?
Mike, what's going on over there?
Sean's doing this on purpose, okay? Because he tried. This is the thing: is every Monday night he tries to come on and raise my blood. He's doing this on purpose. He's seen me here, and he's doing this on purpose. He did this last night, okay?
But he didn't mention TS.
The pitcher was enough. The backup pitcher was enough. That's one.
So why does what he said raise your blood pressure?
Okay.
I'll answer you in 1 second, Kim. I just want to hear this.
I'm just going to say this right now. I'm not sitting here saying that it's not possible. Is it possible? Yes. Right now? No. Within the next year? No. Because they've
what?
Answer Cam. Let me calm down. Please. Let me calm down.
So,
please.
Cam, you were just saying that you were mad that they protected champions because it made it predictable, right? I don't think it made it predictable because you just had 80% of the champions switch.
Cody was a Raw guy.
Cody was a Raw.
Year.
He went to SmackDown when he won. You just had a new IC champion in Sami Zayn. You just had a new tag team champions on both brands. You just had a new NXT championship in Trick Williams. You just had all these new champions happen. You just crowned Becky Lynch as the new women's champion. So you're not like all these people changed. Last night, if for some reason you had Bronson Reed beat Sami Zayn in that match, Sami Zayn could then have been drafted in the remaining picks because it still happened before the draft was over.
Let me tell you this bullshit, though, real quick about the draft. I want to thank you and give you a big fuck you to Triple H, Sean, and Adam Pearce, and Nick Aldis. I'll get a big suck my balls. You broke up the Wolf Dogs? How dare you break up the fucking Wolf? The best thing you got going.
I can tell you why.
Hey, either way, they said Baron Corbin still said Wolf Dogs forever, no matter what.
I can tell you why they did that.
Why'd they do that? You're
Because
gonna make sense of it.
Because Braun Breaker is going to be a superstar, and he's going to be going for the main championship. In 6 months, he will be a champion.
And I asked this question last night as well. I said, with Braun Breaker heading over to SmackDown,
Braun's going to Raw. Corbin's going to SmackDown.
Sorry. With Braun going to Raw, do you feel like Braun is going to get like a Brock-esque type of push like Brock got in 2002?
He'll get a Warrior push. He'll get the Intercontinental run with that, and then he'll go up to the main one. They're going to want to test the waters with him. Not feed him too much. You feed someone like Braun Breaker too much too quick, you get Goldberg. You get the Lesnar syndrome. You get, he's just another fucking shove down my throats because he's a big guy push. Give him a Warrior push. Make it mean something.
Can I give my thoughts on the draft real quick?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, a minute at least, quick. I'll make it as quick as possible.
That's fine. I'll allow it this time.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Now, awesome.
Your minute started 30 seconds
Catch,
ago,
you need a button. I'll allow it.
All right. So real quick, though. WWE, they set themselves up for possible success. Number one, Final Testament going over to Raw, like I said earlier. They can have a great feud with Judgment Day. Not only that, if Rhea Ripley was still champion, okay, and if they would have allowed champions to switch brands, they could have honestly put Rhea Ripley over on SmackDown, new challengers. Instead, they locked in the champions, which people are questioning on. But they set Becky Lynch alone on Raw for having 5 possible new challenge. Well, yeah, 5 possible new challengers: Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Dakota Kai, Laya Valkyria. And not only that, Laya Valkyria coming up from NXT, they can build off of the little feud they had down in NXT and make it much bigger. Not only that, LWO coming over from SmackDown to Raw can also feud with the Judgment Day, can also feud with Final Testament. Like, they've set themselves up so much for Raw alone to have some great feuds and new challengers for championship. Go ahead.
You're missing Kiana James also for that.
But it's still the point. They brought in new challengers for championships and set up great feuds alone for the factions, and let alone tag team switching up. Like, they set themselves up for great success. The key thing is they cannot drop the ball on doing it. And with the way they've been running as of late, they should have no problem keeping the ball bouncing.
So I'm going to piggyback off of that, but going for the SmackDown brand for the women's division. Last night on Raw, SmackDown drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women. And that's not counting BFAB or Elektra Lopez because they're in factions.
Right.
But they just built up that women's division after losing Damage Control, because you lost 4 women from your division right there. And it's just going to be great. Like, they restocked with Nia Jax, so they've built up that division. The women's divisions now are probably the most balanced I've seen in a long time, including NXT. And NXT lost 3 women, sorry. 3 of the bigger women in the division with Lyra, Kiana, and Blair Davenport. Like, this is just the way that they have done this was very smart. People didn't like it because they didn't see the movement. They didn't see big names being moved. But I've given you big names. You've had main eventers being moved. You had Braun Strowman get moved. You had Shinsuke Nakamura get moved. You had main eventers from NXT come up and get moved.
Did Braun Strowman move?
Yeah.
He was out for a year. I don't remember if he was on Raw or not, but I consider that a movement because he's
I
now coming back.
I believe he was on Raw because he was doing the tag team stuff with Ricochet before.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember if that was on SmackDown before Ricochet moved back to Raw.
Okay, yeah,
so I couldn't remember.
Fair enough. No worries.
But I can still consider that new because it's come back from an injury.
And the other thing with Shinsuke Nakamura, yes, he's been losing a lot lately. Okay, he's been cutting great promos, having great vignettes, having great matches. Yes, looking up at the lights at the end of the night. But just look at it now. Before WrestleMania, had a nice little feud with Cody Rhodes. Just think what they can do now that Cody won the championship and he's over on SmackDown with Cody. They can boost that feud and make it much bigger than what it was before Mania.
Exactly. And that's what I like. I like the fact that Shinsuke can reignite the feud between Cody, and they can make it a lot more than just Shinsuke's just saying stuff about Cody and like just random shit, and then next thing you know, blah, the mist. Like I can see it where like it could almost be like almost three matches on like 3 different pay-per-views of Shinsuke challenging for the title. I could kind of see it.
A best of three series.
Yeah, they could do a best of 3, knowing that they still had a lot of that good chemistry from their previous matches.
But I mean, the people you had moving up from NXT was Carmelo Hayes got drafted night 1, round 1 to SmackDown. Great pickup for them.
Yeah.
Then you had in round 4, you had Kiana James get picked up.
Kiana James surprised.
A shock. I was not expecting her to get called up.
Neither was I.
I think this is a great pickup for the Raw Women's Division, just because she's a great heel worker, and she can easily build up this division. Sean, I know you're doing it just to piss Mike off. I know you are. So that's why I'm not showing the comments.
I can still see them. I'm ignoring them.
Yeah,
I know. But
I hope
in addition to that, you had Lyra Valkyria and Blair Davenport get called up from NXT. Lyra going to Raw, Blair going to SmackDown. So you lost 3 big names in the women's division. You had Carmelo Hayes get called up, and you had Ilya Dragunov get called up to Raw, which I think is great.
Yeah,
a lot of people are saying that you're going to see Ilya get paired up with
Imperium.
I don't agree with that. I want to see the match first. I want to see them fight. If them fighting leads to their respect for each other, for them to join up as a team, great. If it doesn't, tough.
True.
And be a team, period. I don't want to see Ilya with Gunther, period. I don't.
I mean, honestly, no matter what they do, I'm gonna be excited for it because when I remember when Jackie Redmond was like interviewing him, asking him how he felt about Gunther being on the same roster as him, and he said he only had one word to describe it: destiny.
Destiny.
And then you had other movements after the draft.
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
So you had Baron Corbin go over to SmackDown, which I thought was a great move.
Yeah.
And
I gotta bring this up.
Uh-oh.
For our buddy, our brother Will, Odyssey fucking Jones goes to Raw, baby.
Oh!
I really
Henry
don't get it.
He's the only man who's drafted and hasn't wrestled in a year. It's great.
I'm telling y'all, Ring Conf will reunite. Ring Conf was Gunther and Timothy Thatcher. The fuck?
Yeah, man, you're talking to the encyclopedia. You gotta know your shit.
And then after Raw last night on Raw Talk, you had Dijak get drafted to Raw.
That's a good draft.
That was
That's
So-
a good pick.
I was hoping Dijak would get picked.
So there's some news that came out about Dijak today. His contract is up soon, and he hasn't
shit.
re-signed yet. So, with regards to that, a lot of people are speculating that he will re-sign and that they're going to have something for him on the main roster, which I hope so, because this man is amazing in the ring. And everything he's done in NXT, this man deserves a championship as well. He should have had one in NXT. He should have won a North American Championship. They should have given this man his comeuppance. I am excited to see what they do with him in the future.
Well, like I said when we were watching NXT earlier, I would love to see, and it doesn't even have to be a title match right away. I would just love to see him and Damian Priest, even if it's on just Monday Night Raw, get in the ring and have a match. Because I think Dijak went down to NXT. He got his resurgence after being in a failed group that they attempted to have, and he is running on all cylinders right now.
That group was doomed because Vince.
Well, I didn't say the name.
I
love
know.
Retribution.
I avoid it at all costs.
That they would have been great if they allowed them to do what they wanted to do. Just like it would have been great on SmackDown if the hacker still went through with the whole thing, because it was the same person.
If
And
they would have,
he just, every time they gave him something, he would start and then it would get stopped. And I don't blame him for wanting to leave.
the momentum that they had on that first night on Raw that they showed up, if they would have kept that momentum going, there was a huge chance of that group being a success.
Yep.
They immediately, literally, like threw the bucket of water on that flame a week later.
Yep. But anything else you guys want to touch on before we close the tab for the night? No?
Yep.
All right.
I'm excited for Wesley back.
I am too, Jax. All right, Phil, where can we find you?
Alrighty. So for the ladies and gentlemen that have made it around to the end and still enjoy seeing this beautiful face gracing your screen, you can follow me on X, Insta, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, basically all the social medias under the name you see right down here, Phil the Future. You can find me here every Tuesday night for NXT on tap. You can see you'll catch me occasionally on Thursdays for the Rivet City Radio Boss Bitch Trivia Hour. I am still your reigning, defending, undisputed Boss Bitch Trivia champion. I am accepting any challengers. So if you want to, I'm all ears. And yeah, that's all from me.
Jax?
You can now find me back here every Tuesday for NXT on tap, every Sunday over on Rivet City Radio for Bot Spots and Chair Shots. Saturdays over on YouTube at Boyfriend Time for our little podcast we do over there. Anywhere else, follow me on Twitter, Jaxbo2020. Hit the link tree, find all my shenanigans and bullshit. It's my spiel.
Mike?
Metal Mike 714 all across the socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. As far as on the networks here, every Monday night for the table spot right after Raw at 11:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the Boom every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after AEW Dynamite, and every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rivet City Red Zone. We got an awesome show planned for this Sunday. We're going to be giving our grades for every team for the draft that happened this past weekend. We're going to be talking about where we think the quarterbacks that got drafted out of this class are going to be in the next 5 years. And we're going to be talking UFL. And also, I'm working on my next article for LWOsports.com. No free shout-outs for LWOsports.com, but I write Eagles content. So I'm working on my next article and hoping to have that out by next week. Appreciate you guys for having me here on NXT on Tap. It's been fun, and sure I'll be back here sometime in the future. But thank you, appreciate it.
Did we turn you into an NXT fan?
Yes, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing on NXT. I'm still learning, obviously. I still have a lot to learn, but I'll get there. I will. But I am a fan.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, like I always say, NXT is the best weekly show, period. If you have not watched it, you need to, because it will turn you into a fan of this program. It does get you built and it gets you invested in the superstars that are on NXT, and then you get to follow them when they do get called up to the main roster. I am Scalz. Thank you again for stopping by tonight. You can find me here on Off the Top Media, Twitch, and YouTube, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me here, NXT on Tap, every Tuesday, as well as Friday Night Review on right after SmackDown, on both, usually on the Twitch as well as sometimes on Twitter. I hope you all have a great evening, and thank you again for stopping by. We'll see you again soon.